So finally, the full patch notes have been revealed for patch 1.2, which is coming very soon. No release date for this thing just yet, but this is absolutely insane. This list is massive. It goes over quest changes. Look at this. It keeps going and going and going. Open world changes. We're talking about cinematic design changes. We're going to be talking about environmental, graphical changes, UI changes, changes to the PC specific part of the game, stability and performance. We're also going to be talking about changes to the console version of Cyberpunk 2077. A whole lot of stuff to go over. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And yeah, you know, despite having these patch notes, it's disappointing that we still don't have a firm release date. It's just that this patch will be out very soon. That's what they say here, right here on their official social media account. It says patch 1.2 for Cyberpunk is coming soon. No release date, but I'll keep you guys in the know as to when that release date is happening. But we are, you know, practically at the end of March here. All right, let's go over some of the changes right now. This list here just proves to me that this game should have never been released in the state it was in. So for gameplay, it says the NCPD spawn radius for when the player commits a crime has been increased. New steering sensitivity slider added to control settings allows reducing steering speed for all vehicles on all input devices, particularly useful for keyboard users. It says adjusted the vehicle steering code to work better in low and extreme high frame rate situations to produce more consistent results, improving steering on base consoles noticeably. Unstuck rocking rotating feature adds to all vehicle. You can use the left stick and so on and so forth to engage this rocking motion. Minor driving model tune revisions to some vehicles to improve steering, cure excessive body roll and oversteer noise. Fix an issue where aiming while under the effect of the Berserk cyberware, move the cursor with no input from the player. Adjusted fire rate for the helicopter turret in Love Like Fire. Police vehicles will no longer immediately despawn after getting into Carrie's car during Rebel. Fix an issue where projectile launch system had no cooldown. Bump reaction for friendly NPCs has been disabled. Fix an issue where grappled enemies played voice lines as if the player bumped into them. And then using Zatattack SATA MK1 cyberware now correctly slows time. Player can no longer cancel fall damage by performing a slide action. So that was a little glitch there they fixed. It is no longer possible to perform gorilla arm finishers against civilians. Okay. Fix an issue where V could get pushed too far by a speeding vehicle. We're going to zoom in here for you guys. It says if V picks up a body containing a quest item, the item will now be automatically added to the inventory. So a lot of little minor fixes right here, which is really nice to see. Picking up or grappling NPC with a burning or an EMP status, now transfer the status to the player. Noise. Improved jacking in interactions with forklifts. So minor improvements to the gameplay mechanics for sure. But there are so many patch notes right here. You can see they also adjusted some things with gorilla arms. Damage has been increased to 20% as well. They reduced prices of accuracy optics, fragment recipes, and reduced power of revolver wielding NPCs. So a lot of like nuances that have been adjusted in the actual game itself. There are so many fixes. Honestly, it's going to be impossible to get to all of them, so I'm going to point out the most notable things. But overall, what I'm seeing here with this patch is a bunch of minor fixes which add up significantly to this game to make this kind of like what would be considered a major update, considering the amount of fixes in this update. Now let's keep going for quests. They did adjust a bunch of quests as well. Here's some examples. Posters in Stadium Love can no longer be destroyed before the contest. They won't go when I go now. Updates properly if V leaves the studio early. Fix an inability to draw weapons at the Poppy Farm during the hunt. Fix an issue where using grapple on gang members could break progression in Stadium Love. The pickup no longer gets blocked if Dum Dum dies at the exact same time as the last enemy. So, you know, if you've been holding off on Cyberpunk, I don't know, after this patch, it might be a good reason to dive back in, because I'm going to scroll here for you. This is just like quest-related stuff. Look at this list for quest-related fixes. There's no way I can go over every single one of them without you guys falling asleep. So we're going to get into some other changes as well. But that list keeps going and going and going. My God, I keep scrolling. All right, but there are some open world changes right here. So let's dive into the open world changes. It says fix an issue where it was impossible to complete the objective for destroying flamingos if they were destroyed before the objective was active. Collisions will no longer fail to stream in randomly during driving, which could lead to V driving into buildings and falling out of the world. Destructibles will no longer become indestructible after loading a save. Fixed an issue where some NCPD hustles were not marked as finished after looting the objective container. They also fixed an issue where achievements for completing district activities were not always unlocked, and failing gig no fixers will no longer block the wasteland achievement. And once again, this just keeps going on and on with issues that have been fixed accordingly in the open world section of the game, I guess you would say. So that's going to include things like this right here. Fix an issue where the urinary stream could still be visible after NPCs stopped peeing and moved away from their spot. So that was an extremely important fix right there. Now also there were some fixes to cinematic design. It says progress will no longer be blocked when player chooses the corpo line twice while talking to Hanako in the safe house during search and destroy. They fixed an issue where they could block progression if the player reached Okako before Takamura in down on the street. And, a bunch of other issues fixed as well. This is more like, well, it says here, River Ward will no longer have a gun attached to his hand when saving V from the infected brain dance in I Fought the Law. So, yeah, a lot of nuances that have been adjusted and fixed. So when playing the actual game, you can actually, it seems like now, partially enjoy it or fully enjoy it, because this seems like very extensive. Once again, if you go just into this list here for the cinematic design, take a look. If you keep scrolling, the list is huge. This list alone is very big with all the little fixes that really add up. And then you get into environment and levels. It says the objective will no longer get stuck on neutralize the attackers in Dream On. A lot of stuff where the objective gets stuck and you can't continue the game. That was one of my biggest complaints about this game, was just not being able to continue on. It says V will no longer get stuck inside an AV flying off if standing on pipes during suspected organized crime activity opposite to track. They fixed an issue where 2 fast travel points were missing on the map pins. Fixed multiple issues related to improper NPC behavior in combat. For example, not changing to correct attack mode or getting stuck in a location. They fixed multiple issues related to NPCs not reacting to V's presence or not entering combat properly. So yeah, those issues also keep going for environment and levels as well, including things that are misspelled. Fix the misspelled Leaving Night City sign. Okay. At least it's fixed. Now, graphics and audio and animation, it says fixed NPCs moving after being killed, improvements in texture rendering from afar. That's good news. Fixed a visual issue with fast travel and cinematic transition, adjusted visual quality of some elements when underwater, improved materials, details quality, fixed V's incorrect position while riding a motorcycle. Oh man, no more naked T posing. Says improvements for interior and exterior light sources, adjusted dirty quality on medium and low settings. Fix the lack of a crack in the mirror after V smashed it. Okay. At least it's a crack in the mirror. Okay. Fix an issue where pink particles could appear on camera close up. Improved foliage destruction visuals. So yeah, a lot of fixes here with the visual stuff. So that's really cool, actually. I like the visual changes that they're also doing. Because for me personally, no, I'm on a high-end PC, but it still runs rough. So I'm really curious to see what is going to be happening right here. And they also, when I say this, they fixed multiple issues when NPCs are T-posing and missing lip sync issues as well. They fixed that. Camera no longer flips when V is under an object and jumps. Improved camera movement when entering a vehicle. So yeah, you can see how this is adding up to make the experience way more quality. So that is so freaking cool. Now UI, let's talk about the UI fixes and adjustments. It says fixed an issue with ads not being properly displayed on curbs, multiple visual updates and adjustments for ads, fixed multiple visual issues in quest briefings, and updated the Arabic language layout in quest briefings. Updated grenade icons according to their damage type, and so on and so forth. So UI adjustments. Let's see how long this is. We keep going. Look at that. Just for the UI. Any UI issues that they have gotten to. Now, stability and performance. This section discusses changes that enter all the platforms, but many of them make a bigger difference on last generation consoles and lower performance machines. Improved stability and performance of the engine and the rendering engine, reducing the number of random crashes. Memory optimization and memory management improvements in various systems, reducing the number of crashes once again. Now, I'm wondering once they, get this patch released, is this going to be enough to convince Sony to allow them to re-release the game on the PSN store? That's what I'm curious. It says various optimizations and improvements in shadow, shaders, physics, work, spot system, spawn system, scene system, animation system, occlusion system, and facial animation system. They also fixed mechanism for managing UI icons. Last's memory will help with memory-related crashes. Okay, so more stuff related to memory-related crashes and multiple UI stability improvements. Various crash fixes. Multiple UI performance improvements. Fixed a performance drop during controller button mashing. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, multiple things going on right there, and we're going to continue here with the gameplay as well. Now, what about miscellaneous fixes right here? Fix incorrect censorship while playing a copy of the game from region. Okay, this is like more minor stuff in this one. So I want to get on to the PC specific, because 85% of you bought the game on PC. It says enabled ray tracing it on AMD graphics cards. Woohoo! Latest GPU drivers are required. Keyboard bindings, more keys are now available for rebinding. Keyboard bindings, it is now possible to bind opening and closing specific panels to the same key. Keyboard bindings. Alright, so a lot of stuff related to keyboard stuff. It's now possible to unbind dodge from the movement keys. Sweet. It's now possible to enter journal from the map panel using a keyboard. Achievements will now work on Epic Game Store. Modding added a new mod folder for loading modded archives. The modded archives can be named in any way and go into the mod folder now. Having mod archives in the patch folder is no longer supported. Oh. That's interesting, because I know a lot of mods use that patch folder, so I do not know actually what that will do to your mods. Alright, so we're going to be finding out about that for sure. It says, now fix an issue that prevented grenades from being charged after closing a dialog window using ESC. Fix the issue where some environmental elements would not be displayed correctly on 8K screens. Fixed an issue where HUD elements will be missing. I mean, come on, this is like 0.1% people 8K resolution. Fix an issue where perks from a certain area of the submenus were not displaying descriptions on 4K and 5K ultra wide resolution. So that's going to be the minority. Console specific, it says fix an issue on PlayStation 4 where items couldn't be dropped from the backpack as they would always reappear back in the inventory. They also adjusted where Johnny's custom HUD wouldn't be present on Xbox One during the concert scene in Love Like Fire. They also fixed an issue that caused the game to zoom in while pressing pause on PlayStation 4, and so on and so forth. Fixed a streaming issue with the elevator panel, play safe on Xbox. Then they improved the mechanism for adjusting the UI texture resolution. So a lot of stuff going on with adjusting the game and various issues that are being fixed. But also, there's many more fixes in this patch that aren't listed. So yeah, this patch is actually going to be pretty big when it comes to the amount of stuff that they are fixing. And again, this whole list here really proves that this game was not in a state to be released. My God, what were they thinking, to be blunt? Like, how is that possible? Anyway, it's good that they dropped the patch note, so this is definitely a step in the right direction for sure. Man, it would be really cool if they could get this game back up and running properly. That would be absolutely fantastic, and then they could start focusing their efforts on, of course, bringing us, actual content, future content, and, you know, the stuff that was missing from the game in the first place. That would be super nice to have all that stuff that was promised actually added to the game through what should definitely be free DLC updates. Of course, you know, recently there was a rumor that dropped, and unofficially and as a leak and as a complete rumor, the rumor stands right now that there would be like 10 DLCs dropping. The majority of those would be free. 3 of them apparently would be bigger paid expansions, of course, much like we saw with The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine and that sort of thing. So, you know, that's what we know unofficially, you know, according to a recent leak. It's a pretty solid leak, but take that one with a grain of salt, and hopefully we have more info officially from CD Projekt Red about the future of Cyberpunk 2077. In fact, tomorrow, March 30th, we're going to be having, you know, that conference call where CD Projekt Red does discuss the future going forward of the company. So that would entail that they would be talking about Cyberpunk 2077, I would believe, in that call. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077. That does it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Remember, I am covering Outriders and Cyberpunk on the channel, so check that out. Let me know if you would like to see anything else. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.